Chris here with another fresh tip for you all. In this video, this is going to be part 2 in our painting the Satan Shard of the Void Dragon for the Necron faction. In the previous video, we worked on the chrome of this guy, and so now we are going to continue on with that orb in his chest, as well as the orb that he's hanging onto his hand, as well as the lightning. To get us started, we're going to use some ceramite white from Citadel, slap a little bit onto my palette, just using a very generous amount of water to thin the color down ever so slightly, just so it flows nicely off the brush. And of course, being very, very careful to apply it into the little, his little heart stone or whatever. I don't know what is that called. I don't know, but either way, we're painting it and giving it a base coat. And we're going to apply this all over the lightning, as well as that orb in his hand, all the way down to those little rock doodads that are hanging down from the bottom there. Again, we have a varnish layer on top of this, so I'm not too worried about handling it. This is after 2 coats, I do believe. And again, I don't quite show everything. I'm really just going to show mainly the lightning and the orb in his hand. For that, we're going to use some golden fluorescent pink. This is a fantastic color. Really no thinner, just the dampness of the brush. And very carefully, I'm going to begin applying this all over the place. And because it's in a fairly thinned out state, it flows very, very easily. And the entirety of all the lightning that we previously laid the white down on, we are going to apply this. Now you can see it looks a little patchy right now, and that is fine because again, this paint is not a very light fast paint. It's not terribly opaque. It doesn't cover over surfaces that well, but that's a good thing because it allows like white to show through. So you can see here, once the entirety is done, you can see already it's looking really, really bright. And then here's after its second layering, and it's a much stronger, bolder, solid color. And again, with the camera, it actually kind of messes with it because the chrome is really, really bright and the fluorescent pink is really, really bright. So yeah, some of the stuff might get a little bit lost. We're going to use that golden fluorescent pink and golden's titanium white. We're going to mix these in roughly a 1-to-1. I'm using 1 drop and 1 drop, and then I'm going to quickly mix these together, and we are going to begin our highlighting process. Now, unfortunately, I was unable to demonstrate what I had done for the heart inside, just because of the funny camera angle and comfortably painting those things. So unfortunately, but the colors I'm using are exactly the same, and really for the gemstone, all I'm doing is I'm painting it like a gemstone, but I'm painting each facet in that regard. So I'm painting, getting brighter towards the bottom, staying darker up and top throughout that gemstone because it has facets on it. It's like a big gemstone. For the orb in his center of his hand, I'm painting inside the groove. It's getting brighter inside those grooves, and then of course I'm trying to build up more highlight towards the center where that's coming from the hand. So that's the imagined kind of like the crystal in his heart and this orb in his hand. That's where the intensity of color is going to be, and so the rest of the lightning itself is going to get highlights, but we're not too concerned about building up too much brightness as we work our way through. So if you're following along and you want to do something similar, or you're going with even different colors in that regard, you know, it's a similar effect. And really what I'm doing also is I'm building up more highlight towards corners. So imagine, you know, like see that corner there, I'm just going to, you know, build up more intensity. So anywhere where the lightning kind of is bending, we're going to get brighter as we go along. But the orb in the hand, I really want that to be a little bit brighter. And in fact, some of the stuff might get done off camera as well. You can see the heart orb as their gemstone, whatever it is. You can see there's highlights on it now. We're coming back. We're still within the realm of fluorescent pink and titanium white, but this time we're going to go with 2 titanium white and 1 fluorescent pink, giving us, you know, a lighter mixture here. This is actually a fairly light mixture. And again, we are going to build these tones up. Now, it's okay to build up these layers of paint on this surface because, again, the fluorescent pink really is not that opaque. The titanium white is very opaque. It actually sits on top of color very, very easily. And but we can slowly build up the effect. And here you can see I'm also doing a little bit of edging, and there are little edges in the lightning. So if you are a big fan of doing edge highlights, you can do that to great effect on this sculpt, because you can see there where on the part of the hand where there's that edge, it almost has that kind of that glow intensity through its center as you're viewing it. Again, I'm keeping with my initial idea of just keeping the lightning brighter towards corners, And, you know, again, we are just simply working our way around. And here it is after the next highlight. And you can see that stone in his chest is getting more highlights. Again, I was not able to demonstrate that, but again, I have shown using that similar technique many times before. So, you know, fear not. Here I'm going with what looked like a lot of drops of white, and it actually turns out I needed more white. So I end up mixing a little bit more white in, and I'm building to a ratio, which should have been more like a 3 or 4 to 1, one pink. And that was the goal there. I don't know what happened, but yeah, my mixtures were all off. And here I'm just simply laying it in through the center, trying to build up in the center of that little, I don't know, the vortex of power in his hand. And then of course also the tendrils that come close to the hand are getting more treatment. And then of course we will build up brighter color on the where the lightning bends as well. So all the little big bends, I should say. And again, we want more color built towards the orb itself. We want that to get brighter. So if you're using other colors, really that's the kind of theory we're employing. We want that orb to be brighter, so you're going to concentrate more color towards that. And here's a good angle where it looks, you can see the intensity building. And again, this is fluorescence, so it's really quite bright. It looks, and you can see how it's reflecting off his leg and everything like that, like, because, you know, it's a nice bright shininess. Next, we're going to use titanium white all on its alone. So I'm going to slap a little bit onto the palette, and then just very, very carefully. I think it was just the dampness of the brush I thinned it out with, just very, very slight. These golden high flow colors are very, very thin pigments. They're very rich, dense color, but they don't have a lot of body to them. So it's not like Citadel paints. You can actually, you know, kind of draw with these things. It's more like, they flow more like ink if you've ever used these. They're really fantastic colors. I like them for a lot of things. Anyway. Here you can see this highlight is going very, very quickly. Just going again for just corners, very, very small, minimal highlights. That's really all it needs, is just a quick little dot here and there. And of course, if you want to introduce like the idea of a texture or, you know, anything like that, and here you can see the highlight on the stone itself. I may go back and create some shadows on that heartstone. I don't know. As I work my way through, I will continue to, you know, evolve the painting process. I may deepen up some of these tones. Again, this is simply part 2 in this series. Hopefully we're going to build to a 8-part on this video, on this guy. So stay tuned, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying this, and hopefully you paint yours in a similar fashion. And of course, you know, you send me pics or something like that. Big thank you to all my patrons. Without their support, these videos would not be possible. If you're considering a Patreon support, click the link in the description below. There are varying tiers of support, and a huge thank you to everybody who does. Take care of those brushes, and they will take care of you.